look at the weekend ahead as well as the week behind in wrestling. We will be dropping one of these today. We will be dropping another one of Laying the Rant Down tomorrow. And then sometime tomorrow, possibly into Monday, but I think it's looking like probably Sunday night, I will be dropping that mega rant on Backlash, which is scheduled tonight. We will be talking about that in just a second. In fact, let's get into it. Let's not waste any more time. Let's talk about all the news in the world of wrestling. Let's start with, indeed, the pay-per-view tonight, Backlash. That is from San Juan, Puerto Rico. And if any of you have already watched SmackDown last night, wow, what a crowd that was. One of the better television crowds I have ever seen WWE have on Raw or SmackDown. This crowd was just jacked to the gills. Absolutely nuclear heat in that crowd. Wow, really good show last night. It made everything in the show just a little bit better. And that ending angle with Bad Bunny joining the NWO was wonderful. The Cody Rhodes promo was great. I thought everything was a great build to Backlash tonight. Won't get into the entire card here, but I'll just throw my 2 cents on this. What basically is a double main events. Maybe we'll talk about 3 of the matches. Excuse me. Let's talk about that 6-man first with Sami Zayn tag teaming with Kevin Owens, tag teaming with Matt Riddle against the Usos and Solo Sikoa. There's a lot of stuff going on with this storyline. Obviously, it's done with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and well as Riddle with the bloodline. This will be kind of the big blow-off, I would assume. I would think that there's going to be some sort of thing where Solo Sikoa cost the Usos a match, or the Usos cost Sikoa the match. I'm going to say Jimmy Uso takes the fall when Sikoa tries to maybe do his finisher on Zayn, Owens, Riddle. It backfires, hits Jimmy Uso, and then the babyfaces go over in that one. Obviously, we're looking for more bloodline conflict on SmackDown, and that's what basically the gist of this whole storyline is leading to at this point. Let's talk about Bad Bunny and Damian Priest in that street fight. There's a lot of rumors online that this will actually go last because the reaction last night for Bad Bunny was so over the top. I think that might be a good call to put Bad Bunny in the main event over Damian Priest. I think he should go over. That's the only way you do that. Send the fans home happy here in Puerto Rico with a huge moment with Bad Bunny beating Damian Priest. Also, Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar. There's some rumors that could be the main event as well, but I kind of think that they will not do that last. And why? Because I have no confidence that Cody's going over in this match. I think Lesnar will go over. Maybe Rhodes has the match won, but yet Lesnar does go over. We'll see what happens. I think this feud probably isn't over. I think you could definitely do another match with Lesnar and Cody somewhere down the road here a little bit. It's very well possible that might happen. I just don't see Lesnar doing the job for Cody this quickly. I think there's a little more opportunity to get a few more matches out of these guys, at least one more. So we'll see where they go with it on that. Let's get into our next topic of discussion. That's the World Heavyweight Championship Tournament. There's a lot of questions going into this tournament. First and foremost, a lot of conjecture has been, why are SmackDown guys in a tournament for a Raw title? I wondered the same thing. I kind of thought it would have been a lot more proactive if WWE would have strictly stuck with all of the Raw talent competing for this championship. But I think they have a plan intact, and I believe that's probably that Solo Sikoa is going to be the final winner of the SmackDown tournament. And the question remains, who will win on that Raw side? It's going to be either Cody Rhodes or Seth Rollins. In fact, we're probably going to see that match in the final, the Raw side of this little mini tournament. Let's break it down and rewind a little bit and talk about what exactly this tournament is. It apparently is just 2 triple threat matches on each show, apparently next week. Just a 1-week deal on Raw and SmackDown. We're going to have 2 triple threat matches on each show. and then the main event of each night on Raw and SmackDown, the winners of those triple threat matches will meet in the main event. To me, this seems like you're throwing everything right away without really much thought for 1 week. I kind of wish they would have spread this out a little bit if they're going to do it like this. Do one triple threat match on each show next week. Do another triple threat the following week. And then that third week, which is the final build, Saudi Arabia, you have those basically finals of each of those tournaments on Raw and SmackDown on the week preceding the pay-per-view. I don't know why they didn't do it this way. Maybe they'll change their mind. Anything is possible in where things are right now. But as it is right now, from my understanding, 2 triple threat matches and a separate singles match main event will main event both Raw and SmackDown next week. So we should have an idea of who is going to be in this match in Saudi Arabia, Night for Champions, basically about this time next week. So we'll talk about a lot more next week in here and laying the rant down on what exactly happened with this tournament and my thoughts on it, on how things went, etc., etc. All right, next topic, AEW Collision rumors. So lots of stuff coming through this week. The Wrestling Observer has talked about the fact that although Punk and maybe FTR and some other talent that are more pro-Punk are going to be featured more on Collision, of course, and that's set in Chicago, United Center, June, I believe, 17th. And by the way, I am planning on going to that show when tickets go on sale. So just a heads up on that. There's going to be plenty of content dropped that night right here, Wrestling Rants. Other rumors are that even though Punk is going to be primarily focused on that show, there will be times where he'll be on Dynamite. And because there is still unresolved issues with the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and all these different types of talent, there may be weeks where some of that talent, like Omega, Young Bucks, maybe Jericho, although rumors are that he's willing to work with Punk now, but maybe some of those talent will be kind of flipped over on Collision 1 week, while then Punk and FTR, etc., may be on Dynamite on another week. This sounds like still quite a bit of a mess. I think there needs to be a lot more meetings and discussions with talent about this. I don't like the idea of splitting the roster up on a hard roster split similar to the brand split of WWE. I think you could feature certain talent more on one show or the other, but I do not think you should go in the direction of a complete brand split for AEW. Just the timing just doesn't seem right with this. I think cooler heads could prevail. They could get everybody together and hopefully make it work. Time will tell. We'll see what happens. Obviously, plenty more information is going to be coming down week after week on AEW Collision. It hasn't even been announced officially on TV, including the debut date, but industry rumors seem to suggest that that show in Chicago at United Center will not only be CM Punk's return, but the initial debut episode of Collision on a Saturday night on TBS. Let's talk about another really exciting news bit that came through. Actually, let's talk about this first. Let's talk about NJPW Resurgence on May 21st. The card has been officially finalized. One of the big matches that just got announced was Jon Moxley's return to New Japan, teaming up with Wheeler Yuta and Shota Umino against Kazuchika Okada, Rocky Romero, and Tomohiro Ishii. That's going to be a great match. Also scheduled was that Strong Women's Championship Tournament Finals, including talent like Mercedes Moné and Willow Nightingale involved in that. I would expect the finals that will be held on this show in Los Angeles on May 21st will be Mercedes Moné and Willow Nightingale from AEW. So we'll see where they go with it. Also announced Hiroshi Tanahashi and Will Ospreay in that number one contenders tournament match, the United States Championship Tournament. All indications will be that Ospreay probably wins this one and then wins the tournament as well. Also, Strong Championship, new champion that just was crowned this week in Japan, Hikuleo, defends against Kenta in a rematch from Dontaku, which I think was like Tuesday. I watched some of that. I haven't watched the entire show, but so far that show was really, really excellent. I'm about halfway through it from Wrestling Dontaku. Also a street fight, Fred Rosser, Juice Robinson, Zack Sabre Jr. and Bad Dude Tito will go in against two CML talents, Virus, V-Rus, whatever you call it, and Cavernario, Caveman Cavernario. And then, like I said, the Strong Woman Championship tournament matches, Willow Nightingale and Momo Kogo, as well as Mercedes Monet and Stephanie Vacuer. I don't know if I got that last name wrong or not, but there you go. Pre-show matches also were announced. That's Bateman against the DKC and Christopher Daniels against Alex Coughlin. So that card is pretty loaded. May 21st. That's just in a few weeks here. We'll definitely be doing a mega rant on this one. New Japan Pro Wrestling Resurgence from Los Angeles. Particularly, I think Long Beach was the spot for Resurgence. All right. Let's go back and let's talk about in London. Wow, I am so impressed with the numbers coming in for this show from Wembley Stadium. End of August, literally a week before All Out in Chicago, which I also will be at, just a heads up. But wow, coming on the heels of the actual on sale date yesterday. Prior to that, there was pre-sales in upwards of 50,000 tickets sold. Very impressive. Now, with tickets officially going on sale to the public yesterday, we already have eclipsed 60,000 tickets sold for this spectacular event that is going to be a spectacle for sure. I think they are going to eclipse the attendance for SummerSlam 92, which was held in the same building back in 1992. At the time, it was the second biggest, I believe, WWE or WWF attendance of all time, right behind WrestleMania 3. They had the attendance listed as over 80,000, but that seems to be a mistaken or a blown up number by WWE. The real attendance record is somewhere between 65 and 70,000 for SummerSlam 92. So All In London is just at the precipice to get over that number and have a bigger overall attendance number than SummerSlam 92. It's going to way eclipse the actual gate. We're already, I believe, at 6.5 million to 7 million gate. So this is breaking all kinds of records for AEW. And of course, online we have a lot of WWE trolls that are just diehard WWE fans. They can't help it, having to make up bullshit lies to downplay this number. I've heard stuff about, they're only selling every other row to make the place look bigger. That's already been debunked because they've sold well over half of the capacity for the stadium. I've also heard that, Ticketmaster and Live Nation actually bought all the tickets up. That makes no fucking sense. There was a report from I believe it was a boxing reporter that claimed that AEW was only planning out 40 to 45,000 setup. That obviously is bullshit. Tony Khan even called that out. So all in all, it's any way you slice it. I don't care how you feel about AEW. But you have to acknowledge and be impressed by this number that came down. It is an impressive number. It's a record for AEW. It may be a record for London and Wembley Stadium for a wrestling show. So give them props. Even if you're not a fan, this is good for the wrestling industry. This will kind of push and ebb and flow both companies to continue to challenge previous records in previous areas and trying to do bigger shows, I think. This is all but a good thing. And looking ahead, there was some news that came down like maybe the last month that AEW trademarked an event called Wrestle Dream. I wonder if that's going to be our next big AEW show that perhaps they're going to try in the States at a major stadium. That sounds to me almost like you're attempting to do a WrestleMania-like event, maybe with a ton of dream matches, almost an offshoot of Forbidden Door with New Japan and AEW. Maybe Wrestle Dream would have multiple organizations being involved in that show. So we'll see what happens with that. But for now, AEW is on a roll with this event all in London. I kind of feel like by the end of it, it's going to completely sell out. They haven't even announced any matches yet. So yeah, very, very impressive for sure. All right, everybody, let's get into Backlash tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show. Come back tomorrow for a mega rant on that mega pay-per-view from San Juan, Puerto Rico tonight. That crowd is going to be absolutely jacked. We'll also tomorrow do another Laying the Rant Down with some other industry news and rumors and maybe some fallout from Backlash. So come on back tomorrow. We got plenty more this weekend right here. Wrestling Rants